Do you know the name Karen Diamond? You should. She's a wife. She's a mother of 2 sons. She's a grandmother of 5 grandsons. A beloved member of the community of Boulder, Colorado. The 82-year-old survived the Holocaust, but she wasn't able to survive being set on fire by a lunatic jihadist who screamed "Free Palestine" as he threw Molotov cocktails on Jews marching for the hostages in Gaza. The Hamas-sympathizing Islamic radical that the Democrats have just tapped to be mayor of New York City, the place that suffered the worst Islamic terror attack in American history, says he's heartbroken over Diamond's death. But he's not heartbroken and devastated enough to stop chanting the same genocidal call to action that got Karen Diamond killed. I'm Daniel Cohen. This is the Real Life Network. Is there anything worse than people who are fake? Don't you hate people who are fake? Fakers, fake sympathy, fake, disingenuous, insincere, false, hollow, put on. Zohran Mamdani, the insane communist that the Democrats are planning to give the keys to the city in New York so he can really ruin it. He is a wolf in wolf's clothing. Listen to this.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Eid Mubarak.
That's Mamdani. That's him on the campaign trail in New York City, blabbering into a microphone that the real problem isn't Hamas. You heard him chanting "Free Palestine." It's not Hamas, the genocidal Islamic terrorists that led an invasion on October 7th that slaughtered 1,200 Jews who were asleep in their beds, took 260 hostages, some still in Gaza as we speak. Hamas, they're not the problem, according to Mamdani. The problem is those darn Jews who live in the land that God promised to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And those darn Jews, they just won't capitulate and die. Karen Diamond, this is her. She was walking in Boulder, Colorado, to raise awareness for the hostages still being held in hellish dungeons. Day 634. Let your brain think about that. Just wrap your brain around that for a moment. Karen Diamond just died from the severe burns all over her body caused by the terrorist Mohammed Soleiman. I know you remember this story. 13 that suffered physical injuries, at least 1 victim still in the hospital. I don't believe for 1 second that Mamdani is heartbroken. We're going to show you his tweet in just a moment. Over what happened to Karen Diamond, to the 2 Israeli diplomats who were murdered in cold blood outside the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., or any other Islamic attack on unsuspecting Jews. I don't believe it for a second. Because the same people chanting "Free Palestine," like Mamdani, from the river to the sea that you've seen on college campuses and elsewhere in large blue cities. They're calling on their deranged supporters to globalize the Intifada, globalize that. That is a phrase to murder Jews. Mamdani won't condemn it. He can say he's heartbroken. He can say anti-Semitism doesn't have a place, but he cannot condemn the term "globalize the Intifada." It's very specific. Listen to this interview that he did with NBC's softball interviewer when it comes to the left from Meet the Press. And listen to how Mamdani cannot get himself to say it. Listen.
Asked about the term "globalize the Intifada," if it makes you uncomfortable. In that moment, you did not condemn the phrase. Now, just so folks understand, it's a phrase that many people hear as a call to violence against Jews. There's been a lot of attention on this issue, so I want to give you an opportunity to respond here and now. Do you condemn that phrase, "globalize the Intifada"?
That's not language that I use. The language that I use and the language that I will continue to use to lead this city is that which speaks clearly to my intent, which is an intent grounded in a belief in universal human rights.
Wow. You heard the gymnastics there. I mean, he was doing cartwheels. My daughter's a gymnast. I mean, he was doing cartwheels all over the set. It's not a hard thing to say. Yes, I condemn that. That's not language that I use. What Mamdani, let me just be real clear. What he's saying there is that Jews in America, that Jews in Israel, that Jews around the world had it coming. That universal human rights, from his warped perspective, the October 7th rape is resistance crowd, any form of violence is justified because of the imperialist crowd. Excuse me, what about the human right of not being set on fire while just going out for a walk? That wasn't the only time. So Welker, this is NBC. You're not going to get a more sympathetic audience. This is far left. They're going to open and shovel the leftism right in. Welker wasn't satisfied with Mamdani's. You heard him weaseling out of her first question. So she sort of rephrases it, repackages it, and asks him again to clarify. Listen.
You condemn that phase, globalize the Intifada, which a lot of people hear as a call to violence against Jews.
I've heard from many Jewish New Yorkers who have shared their concerns with me, especially in light of the horrific attacks that we saw in Washington, D.C. and in Boulder, Colorado, about this moment of anti-Semitism in our country and in our city.
This moment of anti-Semitism? How about years of anti-Semitism? How about we're only seeing a moment of where it's just mainstream now in the Democrat Party? You heard that you heard this flowery, I'm sure that's poll tested. These people have people, this is what you say, this is how you say it, this is what you don't say. Made me throw up. Why is it so hard for you to say? No. Jews shouldn't have to fear being firebombed in Boulder, Colorado, in New York City, or anywhere else. Globalize the Intifada is a call to terror, and the people saying it need to stop. Full stop. One more chance. Kristen Welker says, okay. You snaked and weaseled and slithered out twice. Will you condemn the term globalize the Intifada? Here it is again.
The people who care about the language and who feel really concerned by that phrase, why not just condemn it?
My concern is to start to walk down the line of language and making clear what language I believe is permissible or impermissible takes me into a place similar to that of the president who is looking to do those very kinds of things.
Oh, did you hear that? Oh, my goodness. Okay, so the softball NBC interview, he's backed into the corner finally by Kristen Welker, who, to her credit, she doesn't let him off the hook. 3 times she says, why not just condemn it? And what does he do? He blames Jews being attacked in broad daylight on President Trump. I mean, that is talent. That's jaw-dropping. It's perfectly outrageous. The Trump derangement syndrome never fails. It never fails. And by the way, that wasn't the first time. He knows these questions are coming. You can hear he's rehearsed. He knows what he's going to say. He defended again. He was asked point blank on a podcast called The Bulwark. What about globalize the Intifada? This is the interviewer. Well, what about from the river to the sea? Do those things make you uncomfortable?
To me, ultimately, what I hear in so many is a desperate desire for equality and equal rights in standing up for Palestinian human rights.
This isn't funny. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. I mean, maybe it takes a women's studies degree from Columbia to hear what Mamdani somehow hears when he hears globalize the Intifada. What am I missing? What are we missing, guys? I live in Israel. I'm in the Middle East. In this country, 20% or so Arab. Let me just tell you what the Muslim world hears, including those in Israel. Pro-Hamas terror-supporting activists. Globalize the Intifada is a call to murder Jews. You know, maybe Mamdani really didn't know that that's what Intifada means. I mean, let's show you. This is what he did before he became a state assemblyman in New York. Maybe it was, go ahead, roll the rap. He's a rapper. This is Him on the streets. Let me just, wait a second. We're going to go real quick tangent here. Zohran Mamdani, this is the man the Democrats have tapped to lead New York City. His rap nickname, Young Cardamom. Cardamom, if you're not familiar, it's a spice. It's really pungent. It's very common in the Middle East. It's bitter, mostly Arabic coffee. Young Cardamom, also known as Zohran Mamdani. Billboard.com, it says that since the election, since he won the primary for the Democrats, that there's enormous interest in Young Cardamom's jams. What is he doing here with the apron and no clothes and no shirt on? What are you doing? He raps with a sidekick. His sidekick's name is Abdul Bar Hussein, who goes by the name Hab. I'm not making any of this up. Fact check me. So they released 6 songs in all. They're all terrible. They're all trash. They're up over 500% in streaming in the United States, and the catalog is up over 2,300% globally. Dear Lord, help us. We're doomed. So this not-so-innocent wannabe rapper turned state assemblyman politician, a politician in New York, maybe he needs to be educated on what intifada really means. The word itself is Arabic. It means shaking off or uprising. When pro-Hamas rioters, when they use it, they're not talking about a peaceful protest. They're not talking about wanting equality and equal rights. It's a call to civil disobedience, to violence, to terror, to the murder of Jews. Let me show you a video from the First Intifada. This is Israel. December 1987. The first, there was more than one. It went from December of 87 until 1993. 6 years. Here are the numbers. 3,600 Molotov cocktails thrown at Israelis. The Molotov cocktail that just killed Karen Diamond, same. 100 hand grenade attacks, 600 assaults with guns, explosives, 16 Israelis murdered, 11 Israeli soldiers murdered, 1,400 Israeli civilians injured, over 1,700 Israeli soldiers wounded. The Arab communities, they actually turned on each other. From 1989 to 1992, there were these death squads that went around, they murdered nearly 1,000 of their own people. They accused them of collaborating with Israel, stabbed them, hacked them to death with an axe, shot them, clubbed them, burned them with acid. That's just the First Intifada. The Second Intifada was worse. That was September of 2000, and that went all the way until 2005. This wasn't just riots. Now, the Second Intifada was full-blown terrorism. Take a look at this. This is the Hotel Park. This was in 2002. In those 5 years, just this video you're looking at was a hotel that was firebombed. 1,000 Israelis murdered, thousands more severely injured. Suicide bombers targeted buses, restaurants, nightclubs, malls, shopping centers. Children were deliberately attacked. Families celebrating Jewish holidays were killed. The terrorists used powerful bombs they would pack with nails and ball bearings so that when they explode, it maximizes the carnage. And they would celebrate every successful attack. They pass out treats in Gaza, in Judea and Samaria, in Arab communities. For every time there's a terror attack where Jewish blood is spilled, they hand out sweet treats and celebrate. Israel doesn't do that. Jewish people don't do that. So when someone says, or when you hear globalize the Intifada, make the connection of what we just showed you. This is not a call for Palestinian rights. It's a worldwide spread of terrorism. They're saying take the suicide bombings, take the Molotov cocktails, this systematic murder of Jews, and do it in your neighborhood. Do it everywhere. Boulder, Colorado? Did you know that Boulder, Colorado was this hotbed? No, of course not. Karen Diamond is dead because someone took the message of globalize the Intifada to heart. Mohammed Soleiman. It could happen anywhere. The firebombing in Boulder was Intifada in America. Take a look at this tweet. This is from Zohran Mamdani. The audacity, the chutzpah. He says, I'm going to read it to you. I am heartbroken by the news from Colorado where Karen Diamond, a victim of the vicious attack earlier this month, has passed away. May Karen's memory be a blessing and a reminder that we must constantly work to eradicate hatred and violence. Is this a joke? Hatred and violence. He didn't even call it what it is. Islamic terror. How about we start with calling things what they are, identifying what they are, and then telling people we're not going to use that violent phraseology. Can we at least start there? Let's not call on the violent attack of Jews around the world, on Karen Diamonds. Could be your mother, your grandmother. We've all seen what a globalized intifada looks like. Wake up, New York City. And wake up, America. From Israel, for the Real Life Network, I'm Daniel Cohen.